Are you actually an investor or are you simply someone who buys stocks? Those two things are not the same. A real investor thinks differently, behaves differently, and experiences time differently. Almost everyone says they want wealth, but very few people are psychologically capable of building it. That is because investing is not just a money test. Investing is a patience test, an emotional control test, and a delayed gratification test. Most people fail these tests without even realizing it. So in this video, I want to help you answer one question honestly. Are you a real investor or are you simply participating in the market emotionally like everyone else? In this video, I'm going to cover 6 psychological traits that almost every real investor develops over time. As you watch, count how many of these traits you honestly possess already. At the end of the video, let me know in the comment section how many of these qualities describe you right now. Because once investing truly changes your mindset, you stop behaving like the average person forever. Number 1. Real investors think about time differently. The average person thinks in days, but a real investor thinks in decades. That is one of the biggest psychological differences between investors and everyone else. Most people wake up thinking about their next paycheck, their next purchase, their next vacation, or their next dopamine hit. Real investors slowly stop thinking that way. That is because investing forces you to become future focused. A normal person sees $1,000 and asks, "What can I buy with this money?" A real investor sees the same $1,000 and asks, "What can this money become over time?" That one mental shift changes everything. Once you start investing seriously, you begin realizing that time itself is an asset. Suddenly, patience becomes valuable. Consistency becomes powerful and impulsive behavior starts looking expensive. That is the moment investing stops being a hobby and starts becoming part of your identity. Number 2. Real investors understand delayed gratification. Here is one uncomfortable truth. Most people do not hate investing, they hate waiting. Modern society trains people to expect instant rewards. People want instant entertainment, instant delivery, instant validation, and instant success. But the market does not reward impatience. In fact, the market often transfers money from impatient people to patient people. This is where most people psychologically break. Real investing feels slow at first. You invest money and nothing exciting happens immediately. There is no dopamine rush, there is no dramatic transformation, and there is no overnight success. Most people mentally quit at this stage. That is why so many people chase hype instead. Emotionally, hype feels better than discipline. However, real investors understand something powerful. Compounding looks boring in the beginning, but one day it starts looking unstoppable. Number 3. The market reveals who you really are. This is the part most people do not want to admit. The stock market exposes your personality. It reveals your fear, your greed, your patience, your insecurity, and your emotional control. Anybody can claim to be a long-term investor during a bull market. The real test happens during crashes. What happens when your portfolio drops 20%? What happens when it drops 30% or even 40%? Do you panic? Do you sell emotionally? Do you suddenly abandon your strategy because the news become negative? That is when the truth appears. Real investing is not tested during green days. It is tested during uncertainty. That is why investing becomes psychological warfare. The biggest battle is usually not against the market. The biggest battle is against yourself. Can you stay rational while everyone else becomes emotional? Most people cannot. That is one of the main reasons why most people never become truly wealthy investors. Number 4. Real investors become less impressed by status. This psychological shift is fascinating. The longer someone invests, the less impressed they become by flashy spending. That happens because investors automatically begin calculating opportunity cost. They no longer see only a luxury purchase. They see what that money could become after 10, 20, or 30 years of compounding. That changes your brain permanently. Suddenly, expensive cars look different. Impulse purchases feel heavier. Status symbols lose some of their power. Real investors slowly become obsessed with ownership instead of appearance. They care about assets, equity, cash flow, business, shares, and long-term freedom. They care less about temporary attention and validation. Ironically, that mindset is often what creates real wealth in the first place. Number 5. Real investors stop chasing quick success. One of the biggest signs that someone is not a real investor is that they constantly need excitement. They jump from trend to trend, stock to stock, and hype cycle to hype cycle. They become emotionally addicted to movement. Real investors slowly become calmer over time. That doesn't mean they stop caring. It means they finally understand how wealth is usually built. Wealth is typically built slowly, quietly, and consistently. That realization changes your relationship with success itself. You stop obsessing over becoming rich next month. Instead, you start thinking about becoming financially free over decades. This long-term mindset often produces better outcomes anyway. That is because investing rewards consistency more than intensity. Number 6. Investing changes how you see life. This is where investing becomes bigger than money. Eventually, you realize that compounding exists everywhere. It exists in habit, health, relationships, knowledge, and discipline. Tiny actions repeated consistently over long periods create massive outcomes. Once you truly understand that principle, you stop underestimating small improvements. You stop expecting overnight transformation and you begin respecting time itself. This is one of the deepest psychological effects of investing. Investing teaches you that the future is built gradually, not instantly. In today's world of short attention spans and instant gratification, that mindset becomes a superpower. So, are you a real investor? Now ask yourself honestly, how many of these 6 qualities do you actually possess right now? Can you stay patient when nothing exciting is happening? Can you continue investing during fear and uncertainty? Can you think long term while everyone around you thinks short term? Can you delay gratification in a world addicted to dopamine? Because that is what real investing actually is. Real investing is not about predicting the next stock. It is not about posting flashy screenshots online, and it is not about pretending to be rich on social media. Real investing is psychological endurance. It is emotional discipline and the ability to trust time more than hype. Once you truly develop that mindset, your entire life changes. You stop living only for the present version of yourself. You begin building for the future version of yourself as well. That mindset alone separates real investors from almost everybody else. If you truly want to know whether you are a real investor, do not look at your portfolio first. Look at your behavior. Look at your patience, your consistency, your emotional control, and your ability to think long term. Because investing is not really about money. Investing is about who you become while waiting. And before you leave, let me know in the comment section how many of these 6 traits you genuinely relate to. I'm curious to see how many real investors are actually watching this video.